Hi, folks. I'm glad you're all here. Thank you very much for joining me. And a big shout out to those of you that have sent in a PayPal donation. God bless you. Thank you so much. And have bought me cups of coffee. You guys are so generous. Thank you. My cats are really good cats. As you know, I do have 4 cats. One, it's a game with her, always trying to escape outside of my apartment door and up the stairs to the other apartments. I worry about her getting lost or stolen. So today I took her in and got her microchipped. I don't know if all vets have a scanner, but if she is found, if she gets lost, hopefully they'll scan her and then I can be notified via a text message or email. Yeah, it's a big game for her to run outside, and a couple times she's run out and I didn't notice, and luckily one of the other tenants in my building knocked on my door and told me she was out there in the hallway. It's raining again here in South Dakota, breezy, a little chilly. Many places definitely need the rain. I hope you all have a very blessed Tuesday afternoon and a rest of the week. And once again, thank you very much for your donations. God bless you guys. I don't know about you, but I am really wondering about these conspiracy theories about the bird flu that started in Texas. It's not widely publicized, but the term of reverse zoonosis specifically refers to the natural transmission of disease from infection from humans to animals. In the past, the human-to-pig transmission of H5N1 or influenza A represented the largest reverse zoonosis of a pathogen. Also, in 2022, there was a mink outbreak in Spain that was caused by a human passing it on to a mammal. They now suspect that the recent dairy outbreak of H5N1 influenza bird flu actually probably came from a human. 20% of commercially sold pasteurized milk in the stores has been found to have the bird flu. They won't know for several weeks if they are live viruses or not. I thought it was interesting that the bird flu started there in Texas, where they're cracking down on the open borders. Do you think the government has anything to do with this? I would not be surprised, but that's my own opinion. The H5N1 strain of avian influenza has been spreading undetected in U.S. cattle for months, according to a preliminary analysis of genomic data released by the USDA. Now, they are saying the outbreak is likely to have begun when the virus jumped from an infected bird into a cow, probably around late December or early January. The bird flu is now in 34 dairy herds in 9 states. The latest state is Colorado. The initial infection stems from a herd of Texas cattle that were brought to a Michigan commercial farm on March 7th. State veterinarian Nora Wineland said that the cattle were perfectly healthy at the time and passed a veterinarian inspection. Then the first animal got sick on March 20th. Samples were then submitted to the state lab, and that's when they found out they had the bird flu, the H5N1 strain. In late March and early April, the USDA posted a handful of viral sequences from cows sampled in Texas and a sequence from that man who caught the virus from supposedly the cows. He only had pink eye. They now have uploaded, including some 10 gigabytes of sequencing information from 239 animals, including cows, chickens, and cats. Another strange thing about the genetic diversity in the virus that is infecting the cattle, it indicates that the virus had months to evolve. In that new mutation, there are changes to the viral protein section that scientists have linked to possible adaptation to the spread in manuals. So they have all these samples and they can't figure out why or how, supposedly, when the virus got to the cows, all of a sudden the protein sequencing changed. Currently, researchers want more testing of cattle and wild birds to gain more insight into the outbreak's exact origin. So this will make your hair stand on end. And one of the possibilities that they're looking at is that a person who was infected with the bird flu actually was the one that infected the cattle. So if a human passed it on to the cows, is it possible that person who had pink eye was the one that actually started this outbreak? Is that where this mutation started? They now want to test the beef that's being sold in the stores. Hamburgers, steaks, things like that. The U.S. government said on Monday it is collecting samples of ground beef at retail stores in states with the outbreak of the bird flu in dairy cows for testing. But they say they think it remains safe. Right now, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration said this last Friday that preliminary results of gold standard PCR tests showed pasteurization killed the bird flu virus in milk. The USDA passed a federal law that any lactating dairy cows, before they can be moved to another state, have to be tested for the bird flu. But older cows, some dairy cows, are processed into ground beef when they grow old. As of this weekend, the department said that testing is not required for cows that are shipped over state lines directly to slaughter facilities from barns where they are sold. For now, cattle only need documentation showing that they were inspected by a veterinarian. The USDA said it inspects each animal before slaughter, and all cattle carcasses must pass inspection after slaughter to enter the human food supply. The USDA is also collecting beef muscle samples at slaughter facilities of dairy cattle that have been condemned to determine the presence of the viral particles. In another study, the USDA will cook ground beef containing a virus surrogate at different temperatures to assess how it inactivates the virus, according to their recent statement. So how this is going to affect our economy? Well, right now, Colombia is restricting beef coming from the U.S. This recent outbreak here in the U.S. is the reason Colombia is now restricting dairy cattle and poultry from coming into their country. But how many other countries are going to follow along? Yeah, time will tell. Colombia is now prohibiting the import of fresh and frozen beef and beef products derived from cattle slaughtered within the states of the infection. Well, now it's 9. Originally it was 8 and now 9, that being Colorado. The U.S. exports about 7,500 metric tons of beef to Colombia each year. The USMEF said the United States is Colombia's largest supplier of imported beef, and Colombia's attempt to suspend beef imports from specific states here in the U.S. is unworkable and misguided. It has created uncertainty for the Colombian importers and for their customers, as well as their suppliers. It will greatly disrupt trade. Yeah, they want us to eat bugs. How much you want to bet Bill Gates or one of those is going to be heading over there, or has already been working about selling them fake meat? There's also a research paper that has not been published yet. It's got to go through all the rigmarole of being politically correct, I suppose. They found that the bird flu gene was in 3 wastewater disposal facilities. Those 3 plants were all located in unnamed states with confirmed H5N1 outbreaks among dairy cattle. 2 of the facilities discharged animal waste and milk byproducts into sewers, the researchers noted. Another question about actually starting because of some human They're asking why dairy cattle and not beef cattle. At Texas A&M University, they said that they're in the Texas Panhandle. They have dairies next to feedlots and cows in close proximity on range. And why aren't the cattle on the range catching this virus? For now, it's only being seen at dairies. For now, what they are saying, a virus to cause a human pandemic, it has to have three important characteristics. It has to cause human disease. It has to be something our immune system hasn't encountered before. And it must spread easily among humans, especially through the air. There was a concern when minks, seals, and other mammals were infected with the H5N1 last year. An outbreak among mammals with a large interface with humans is a red flag. The reason why maybe cattle are not showing signs of this is because people who work on dairy farms are constantly interacting with cows and their milk. They check udders, hook and unhook milking machines, and perform other tasks to care for the animals. That puts them in a lot of contact with any virus infecting the cows. If the virus were one that didn't affect and kill people, or doesn't mutate and adapt as easily as the flu does, perhaps it wouldn't be as concerning. But H5N1 does infect people at close proximity to animals, and at least half of more than 900 people who have been infected with the virus since it came on the scene in 1996 have died. There is some good news. According to the USDA, the virus has so far not caused severe disease or death in the cows it has infected. They all recovered with supportive care. In that way, this outbreak is very different from the ones we've seen in some other mammals. Well, maybe if they quit their Frankenstein science testing. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Please put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your support. As always, please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you all. Bye.